This lonely plinth here in Laxey has been waiting for its statue for almost a year, and it's on its way from the other side of the world. It took 6 weeks to ship out the stone and slate to the island of Bali, where a Laxey miner is being created. I'm with Ivor Hankinson, the project coordinator. What's the story behind this?
Right, well, first I'm very pleased to be able to say a few words about the plinth and the miner. I had a good look at this area and it was in a terrible state, with growth in the walls and all the ground was absolutely covered. So with good friends I arranged for this to be cleared completely. It's unbelievable from the photographs that I have to see what it was like and what it is now. So in my many discussions and thinking about a replacement miner, it just so happened at that time that Anki Wijana, sculptor, was on the islands seeing the family in Peel. His wife's parents live in Peel. And it just so happened by chance that I met him because he'd already done some work in Laxey. And we had a discussion about what could be done here. And this, what has happened, is really his idea. This is what he could see in the future. So, following this up, I approached a well-known architect in this area, a chap by the name of Dave Luton from Agnish, who came in on this, and he'd drawn some superb plans, which were approved by Anki and myself, of course, and from that matters went forward. Anki's father-in-law, Steve Black from Peel, was an expert in knowledge about stone, and we talked about various types of stone that could be used on the miner itself. We came to the conclusion that Carlo limestone, this is on his advice, was the stone to use, and so he went over to Carlo and found the actual block that was to be used. Now at that time the plan was that the work would be done on the island, and it would be all attended to here. Necessary permissions had to be obtained, and the stumbling block came the border agency, where through increased regulation it was found that Anki was unable to have a work permit to work on the island. Having got the block of stone here, I thought, well, if the stone can be worked on the island, I would have to ship it out to Bali. And this is how it came about. Because
Anki's from Bali and Bali. He had to return to his home.
He had to return to his home, along with Hannah, that's his wife, a lovely lady, and it's her parents, of course, who are at Peel.
So the reason that this magnificent plinth has been sitting here on its own for so long is because you've had to send the materials halfway across the world.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, as far as the design work of the plinth, the base and the plinth, this was done by Dave Luton. Superb drawings. I thought it was a masterpiece that he prepared for us, and it was accepted, and the plans were sent. And obviously we had all permissions, government permissions, permission to use this area as well. Everything was done legally.
So what will this look like? What will we see on the top of this plinth?
Yeah, what you're going to see on the top of this plinth is a miner that's been carved out by this expert carver from this block of stone. Apparently these sculptors in Bali, they have this gift of being able to visualize the end product. They see the block, they know what they have to do, and they set about doing it with chisels. Now, limestone is a very hard stone. Well, the block that's gone out there was harder than expected, and with the chisels, a whole selection of them, he set to work on this with an assistant, and this is presently still continuing. So eventually what will happen is that this miner will arrive and it's going to go on top there, According to the drawings, the height to the top of the miner is going to be 4,000 centimetres, which is 13 feet, approximately 13 feet.
So it's going to be quite a striking feature then where we are, isn't it?
Yes, yes. You see, it's going to have the advantage of, this is the central point when coaches come into Laxey. People get off the coach, already they come across to see what on earth all this is about. And so they have something extra to see.
And you did, didn't you? You put some information on the plinth because people were asking the question, weren't they, what's going on here?
That is correct. Around September of last year, 2013, all this work was completed by two local men. And at that time, it seemed to be a possibility that the miner could be here in a year's time. And this is why I thought, well, the public, in seeing the plinth, will want to know what's going to happen, and that's why I put the notice on.
So when might this be coming back to the Isle of Man, and will Onky be coming with it?
Now that's a very good question, and quite honestly I cannot answer this at present. It's well advanced. I don't know when it's going to be completed. Maybe you'll have the opportunity of speaking to Onky and his wife Hannah through Skype if you go ahead on this, and they will give you more information on this at present. I mean, I would love to know when it's going to come. I do know it's not quite ready. And also, when he has completed work on the miner, he's going to do work on 4 Welsh slate panels. And this is depicting life in the mine. And again, I have information on this. And these panels will fit into each of these areas here, you see. So it's going to be a fascinating thing when it is finished.
It's going to be something lovely for the village, isn't it?
It's going to be something lovely for the village. It's going to last for years. I think there was once taught that when the mine is put in place, it will face the Laxey wheel, which of course can be seen from here. So, but that's something for the future. As far as I'm concerned, there is no deadline on this. I mean, I thought it was a possibility for late summer. That's not to be. I think there may be a possibility of it coming this year, but if not, I'm not at all worried, because once it's there, it will last for years.